Hello, I'm Lauren,
I'm Elysia.
and we're Innovation Squared, and we decided to go with the youth in Little Rock, Arkansas. This is a picture of us, and we're both juniors attending at the UCA in graphic design major and minors.
So again, after conducting a workshop where we each designed 2 possible how might we questions based on the youth in urban Arkansas, we put all of our questions together and rated which ones would be the best for our design challenge. Once the 4 questions were rated, we added up the scores and chose the highest ranking question. And our team chose how might we encourage troubled youth in Little Rock to express themselves through a positive outlet.
Just a quote to kind of help us and inspire us is from Marcel Proust, and it said, "The real act of discovery consists not in finding new lands, but in seeing with new eyes."
This is just like, why should we encourage troubled youth to express themselves in a positive way? And through our research, we found some information on youth. So school engagement is higher in youth with more individual and ecological assets, and these high levels of school engagement predicted greater academic achievement. And then there was in terms of the risk or problem behaviors, a proportion of the youth showed an increase in risk behavior.
And all of these quotes were from the 4-H research. And then the next slide is the same question, also research founded by 5 areas of development with related outcomes and activities. And they had charts that put together different categories of leading, talking, thriving, connecting, and all the things that activities could help those categories with. And few are meaningful engagement and own career development process when talking about youth working, confidence and sense of self-worth in relation to their own physical and mental status when talking about youth thriving, and so on. And this is a picture of the cover of the 4-H study that we found, and then this is half of the chart that we found of the 5 areas of development.
And I guess this is just our discovery phase. And so we use different methods. We began by interviewing experts, doing youth surveys. We did a field visit at the Arkansas Dream Center in Little Rock, and then our database research, which we just showed you, the 4-H. And we through our database research, after we came across the Arkansas Dream Center, we had to find someone we could communicate with that would help us with this project and partner with us. And we came across Susie Taylor, who is the Public Relations Development Coordinator there. And she led us to Michael Heisler, who is a youth leader of the 6th through 9th graders. And he agreed to do an interview with us to get our expert interview. And he allowed us to observe and survey the kids.
When interviewing Michael, we started off with personal questions and ended with deeper questions relating to the youth to get his take on them. We took notes, recordings, and pictures, and for an example of a personal question, we asked him, "How did you become involved in this type of work?" And then an in-depth question were, "What are problems that you notice in the youth?" So we always, like we said, we started off with easy questions, with personal, and then went into the kids. Once they've warmed up to you when you're interviewing an expert, then you can go into deeper ones, and always make sure to write down the comments, take notes, take voice recordings, and as many pictures as you want.
When we got to building the survey, we had to keep in mind that the targeted market are the ones who are answering the questions, so we had to be mindful of our wording, just like the interview questions. And we started off with easier questions and end with more in-depth questions. And we allowed them to give each question a few answers, like yes, no, maybe, on a scale from 1 to 5. And an example of our easy question was like, how old are you? Just so they're, just basic information they can answer. And then our in-depth question was like, what causes you the most emotional distress?
For our data from the interview, we interviewed Michael Heisler, the youth leader who lives in Monell. So after we interviewed with him, we learned more about his experience and how the average youth leader goes about their work. He stated that in the beginning he did not like his job. He said that his wife influenced him to stay and help the kids, and they did start growing on him. It was the small everyday victories that gave him hope and kept him going. The victories, for example, would be when a young man would show respect to his peers, and the main problems he noticed in the youth consisted of violence, drugs, lack of trust, lack of consistency, and worst of all, death. Michael stated that trust was a big issue between the community and the Dream Center, and the Arkansas Dream Center also has a strike system for motivating the kids to do better.
So after doing our survey, our results revealed a lot of interesting information. They said there were countless community problems like cursing, drugs, violence, and peer pressure. Many of them expressed their emotions through sports for both positive and negative feelings. And when expressing anger, about half of the kids said they expressed themselves silently while the other half said violently. And majority of their activities consisted of football and basketball. And we just kind of asked them what they wanted to be, and their dreams included becoming pro athletes, and if that were not to work out, then engineering. And some of their fears included their parents and physical harm.
So after getting all the data put into charts and organized, we then had workshops to create new ideas, and we brainstormed with the class. So throughout the whole process, we did this to come up with possible solutions, narrowing down our data to 3 main topics of trust, respect, and literacy, and then refining our final how might we question. The first thing we did was tell the class about our story and our experience at the Arkansas Dream Center. And the class listened and wrote down their opinions, and then on post-it notes, and then we put them all up on the wall and narrowed them down to that. After we generated new questions, we got back with a group that had came along with us and narrowed down our questions and ideas even more. Then we had the solid question for each one of our topics of trust, literacy, and respect.
And these are just some pictures we took during the workshops with the sticky notes and stuff, and using the circles and check marks to show which ones were practical and which ones were good but probably not practical.
So after we narrowed down all of our ideas, we redefined our design challenge to how might we build trust between the Arkansas Dream Center and the Little Rock community. When building trust is to focus on, in order to better the kids' lives, when the community and organization work together as one, it builds a strong foundation for the youth to grow up on. The families, friends, and leaders would all get along together and agree on what ways are best for the child. The child would grow in trust and would have consistency that they are longing for, and this in return would support them throughout the rest of their adulthood.
And so our final solutions were the semi-annual picnic and family day. And we just thought this was a fun and safe way for the community to get involved with the Dream Center, which would be semi-annual they could have or whatever. This would let the families, friends, and youth leaders all meet up twice a year and really get to know each other and bond. At the picnic, there could be lots of food, team games for bonding, guest fans, and of course all the kids and their friends. And when people bond over food and games, it builds that sense of trust and after a while, respect. This is a great and fun way of showing the children that every mentor in their lives are getting along and are wanting the best for them. That display of affection and consistency will show them how to live their lives in a positive way. And then another one of our solutions, or the next step in our project, was the app. And the app would be a great outlet for the youth to express themselves and show what they've been creating lately, like art, poems, or free writing. And this will help them build a sense of community with the staff members and their parents, who will also be on the app. With everyone having access to this app, the parents could see what the kids are doing in the organization and get a hold of the faculty quicker, while the youth are having a fun, safe environment to talk and share their stuff with their friends. And the staff members can help regulate the youth's posts and also enjoy what the kids are up to as well. With the faculty members and youth all on the app, everyone has access to each other quicker, and it helps them bond easier.
Activities that will help the youth according to our research. One was definitely a personal plan development with goals, action steps, and deadlines. And the main one we were kind of looking for was the social activities, but also like the sports and recreational activities where you could have games and stuff at the family picnic. And this is from the 5 areas of development. And we came up with 2 infographics to kind of centralize our ideas and like lead us to where we wanted to do. We had 5 main categories of organizations, who to get a hold of the community and what is happening in it with the problems and friends and stuff like that. The insights, which are our 3 categories we were looking at, was literacy, trust, and respect. Family and their influence, and then the 5th one was solutions and how might we fix any problems. And this is just the top part of the graphic, and then she got to the bottom half of it.
And this is our other infographic, which basically just shows our process from our design challenge and coming across the Arkansas Dream Center, and then our insights, that are redefined insights, which were trust, respect, and literacy. And then our brainstorming ideas and solutions.
That's the bottom half.
And then, the bottom half shows our final solution. And also, I wanted to point out how, like, in our infographic, the lines aren't just like random. Some of the lines show how they can solve multiple problems. Like our picnic and family day can build trust and respect.
Then we started diving into the app designing and what all it would take to do that. So we had a client interview again with Michael towards the app this time, and then we had app surveys from college students our age and what they like about certain apps they have and what they don't like, and just getting some intel on that. And then we had persona building, coming up with random people that we thought could help us look at the future and how might they look at it. We looked at user interface examples, other companies' apps, created a flow chart, and then we got into the low fidelity wireframe, and then the high fidelity, and then eventually FLINTO.
And these are just some of the questions that we asked Michael. Basically just like what apps he's into right now and what he likes about them and what he would like in the Arkansas Dream Center app. And some of the key things he said was a way to donate money to the Dream Center and a place for the children to share photos and information about themselves.
Then we had the app surveys, and we got 15 college-age students to answer all our questions. And we started off with the easier ones, with how old are you, to get all the statistics, and then how often do you use your phone, what do you usually do on it, what motivates you, what's your favorite app, what's a cool feature of the app, what are you willing to pay, and stuff like that.
And then we went into our persona building. And we made 5 different versions of personas and to play out situations like parents to youth or staff.
One example would be Salty Steve. He is a parent who would be on the app, and he's an electrical engineer, and so he works a lot, so he's really looking forward to retirement, and he's just tired all the time. So an example of his life would give us a good idea of how he would react to the possible solutions we've come up with. With him being a mechanical engineer, he would be able to use the Arkansas Dream Center app with ease, and we feel like he would appreciate the quick access to his child's work and advisors. He may be bitter when it comes to actually getting out into the community, though, so he's very lazy.
Then we have Juvenile Jason, and Jason is a youth enrolled at the Arkansas Dream Center. He would like to have the app to keep up with his friends within the organization, but he might not post much of his personal projects. He needs to feel more secure with the Dream Center before fully trusting them. So downloading the app and starting an online community will help him open up to his advisors in the future.
Then we got into the user interface examples, and we researched 100 examples of pictures and whether we liked the app or not, and voted on them and narrowed them down to 20 examples, and then voted again and got down to our 5 main references.
And these are just some pictures of the examples, and then at the bottom, like the reasons why we liked the ones we picked.
Mm-hmm. Then we came up with a flow chart. This was just a very quick, simple outline of how we thought of our app would turn out, and of course it didn't end up exactly like this, but it was just trying to get a visual.
And this is our low fidelity wireframe.
And then our high fidelity wireframe, and we added actually color and pictures and blur effects and try to really build the look of the app.
And we chose red because that's really the color for the Arkansas Dream Center. We tried to make it where there's not too many other colors that mess with the design.
And we haven't got to FLINTO yet, but in the future we'll do it, and it's, you can upload all your pictures and make it a clickable prototype.
And in the future, we're gonna work on our book, but this is our basic outline of what we want to include, which is just our research, the workshops, our solution, app designing, the video, and then